Hello, everybody. Welcome to Highland, a Beavis and Butthead podcast. My name is Chris Paul.
And I'm Drew Mulkins.
We're here to, this is the introduction episode of this here podcast. We intend to watch every episode of Beavis and Butthead over the next, 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
If we post sometimes twice a week is the plan. We're going to do, this will be coming out, I guess it's the first thing I'll talk about. This will be coming out twice a week, hopefully. We'll be doing rotating old episodes as a rewatch, and then we'll be updating you on and reviewing the new episodes as they come out, starting September 6th, I think is the first one.
Yeah, I think it comes out on Comedy Central on the 4th. It's released on Paramount Plus on the 5th, and then we'll put it out like the next morning.
We'll put our episode out within a day or two of airtime. Most likely we'll be watching them on Paramount Plus. That's where I watch the show.
Yeah.
Other episodes, the like the lost sort of pilots and stuff like that, we've found a place.
Yeah.
So we're gonna and the intention is to cover every episode, starting with the pilots from Liquid Television.
Frog Baseball. Yeah.
So we'll get into all of those. But first, who the hell are we and why do you care?
Yeah. That's an excellent question.
We are big Beavis and Butthead fans, and also we are two members of the Sad Boys Social Club sketch group.
Yeah.
Here in Cleveland, Ohio, on this here channel.
Yeah, there's a YouTube and there's a comedy album on Spotify, and yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah,
been around
head
for
over
a while.
to the Sad Boys YouTube channel to find sketches and whatnot. From the history of the sketch group, and you can head over to RBL Cleveland. This will be on Idiot Box Cult. That is my YouTube channel. We'll be doing a bunch of pop culture stuff on that channel here in the future, along with other movie podcasts and things with some other members of the group and some funny people we know. I met Drew. We both did stand-up comedy about 13 years ago.
Yeah. I remember I started doing stand-up in 2010 in Cleveland, and pretty soon people started talking about you, like the hot new thing out of Columbus coming up doing shows.
I remember meeting you at Hilarities. Back in those days, they had a monthly open mic you could sign up for.
Yeah, I don't even know how many times I did that. Free pizza, and you got to perform at Hilarities. Woo!
Yes, tickets were $2 at that time.
Yeah, not in the main stage, on the side stage, but hey,
the cabaret room.
Those were fun shows, though.
Yeah, that was a golden period of Cleveland comedy.
Back then, that was a fun show to do.
The Gilded Age of Cleveland comedy. And then Sad Boys as a group has been around for about 8 years.
2016, so 9 years, going on 10 next year.
That's right. It's as old as Roast Battle Cleveland.
Yeah, it started roughly the same time, maybe a little earlier.
Yeah, I think so. I was originally in the group, and I decided to focus more on stand-up at the time.
Yeah.
And then rejoined about 2 years ago when there was a vacancy.
But yeah, this all rolled out around the same time when Jeremy was really launching things at that particular moment.
Yes, the common thread between both would be Jeremy Shear and Tabitha Jones.
Yeah.
You'll see probably
both founding members, Sad Boys Social Club.
Popping up on here.
Roast Battle Cleveland.
Yes, formerly the Ad Hominem Attack Show.
Yeah.
Currently Roast Battle Cleveland. Okay, that's about us. That's our history.
Yeah.
Drew, where did you what is your earliest memories of the show we're here to talk about, Beavis and Butthead?
Well, I remember I wasn't really supposed to watch MTV at the time because I was, I don't know, 10 years old.
Would have been 92, would have been 93, would have been the first
I was
TV episodes.
I was about 10, 11 years old. I remember being at like day camp in Cub Scouts, and one of the kids kept talking about frog baseball. Like, I think that was the only like reference he had, because like he would just talk about how they would play frog baseball all the time, and so I think that was the only thing he had seen. But he wanted to talk like he had seen a lot
of them,
of Beavis and Butthead, but it was clear that he had only seen the one short.
To be fair to this kid, they did replay them a lot. Like those first 5 episodes,
they really did.
They said they replayed them over and over, and that was they gained ratings each night that they did that.
Yeah, so. There's stuff I want to say about that, but we'll do the frog baseball episode in a little bit here.
You'll see it next.
But
week.
After that, I would catch an episode here or there when I was kind of sneaking it. But then Beavis and Butthead Do America came out, and well, it was a PG-13 rated film. I'm allowed to watch those, so I kind of just watched that over and over. That was a huge amount of my Beavis and Butthead experience, was just Do America over and over on VHS for a long time.
That's interesting because that would there were no music videos other than the Rob Zombie thing, which we'll cover when we get to the movie. But,
it's kind of a different sort of humor. I didn't really know that at the time because I wasn't that familiar with the show. And then as an adult, for a long time, I was looking for the versions that had the music videos in them, because I at least remembered when I was a kid, those were the funnier parts of the show to me. As an adult, I appreciate kind of both parts equally, but I really prefer to watch the versions that have the music videos in them, because man, those can really be like some laugh out loud, fall over type of stuff. So
they're
can like the show
funny,
itself, but
and it's the way they film those. It would just be Mike Judge in a room watching the videos and kind of riffing, as the characters, but. Those we're gonna do some discussion of whether there is, but how early there's a Beavis and Butthead sort of multiverse, because they die in several episodes.
They do.
But I would argue if there's a Beavis and Butthead multiverse, the version of them that watches the music videos is some Earth where they only do that. Where that's just all they do is watch music videos.
They're almost different characters. They're much smarter when they watch music videos.
Yeah, the level of self-awareness is much higher.
Yeah.
Which you need to have for the amount of shit they talk about the videos, and sometimes.
But what's your experience like?
So I first, I remember this was a huge thing for me as a teenager, because I'm a little bit older than you are. I would have been like 13 or 14 in 93. I would have been 12 or 13. But I would, as a kid, we lived in Georgia, and my parents were separated. My dad lived here, and we did not have cable where I lived during the school year. On the summers when we came home to Cleveland to my dad's, they had cable, and that would be when I would get to stay up in the summer and watch Beavis and Butthead on MTV.
Nice.
And it was so cool it felt like I was getting away with something.
Yeah.
The grown-ups would all be in bed, but this was at this point they'd already had the early controversy and moved it to the later time slot.
It was one of those shows that you were like afraid to get caught watching, like it was porn or something.
Yeah, I vaguely remember before even seeing it, just from because we had MTV at one point in Georgia, but I remember at some point I remember some hoopla about the fire episodes and the controversy and
Yeah.
Everything that cool that happened in the 90s, some church group blamed it for something,
Those people were more looking for attention than anything else. Like in
yeah,
every case, that always turns out to be the case, that none of these kids ever even saw the show.
yeah. I've seen some video out there of a guy who's a huge super Beavis and Butthead fan that went and tracked that kid down
Yeah.
and talked to him, and he said he'd never seen the show. They said the mom called the news before she even called the fire department.
Yeah. Like
they were looking to sue MTV the second the house caught fire.
That was about something else. But that's the thing. Once people get that idea, you're kind of stuck with that idea.
Yeah. So that's my early and then I would watch it, and I loved it. I was into it, but as I got older, I had a friend who a dear friend Mark, who's no longer with us. Beavis and Butthead became like that's how we communicated for years as teenagers, was just quoting the show, busting balls and you're lame. And
I will say I only really got into Beavis and Butthead like in full when Paramount Plus came out, because that was like the first place that I really had access to full episodes with music videos in them.
Okay. Yeah, for like the revival and everything.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because it's been a long time. I just recently...
I had some VHS tapes growing up, but those didn't even... Like, I bought them at garage sales or whatever, but they didn't have the music videos in there.
I remember having like a couple of books and stuff over the years and thumbing through them. I was always more a fairly casual fan. I will say I wasn't aware in 2011 of the revival, so that was kind of confusing when I more recently I started watching again because I got Paramount Plus for South Park when they just...
Yeah, I remember other people at the pizza place I was working at in 2011 being excited about the revival, and me kind of not really knowing that much about the show itself, more knowing about the movie and knowing that the music videos were my favorite part. So I still hadn't really gotten super into the show at that point. But I remember one of my coworkers called it the funniest show he had ever seen, and I totally understand now where he was coming from when he said that.
It's a very funny show. I know it has a reputation of kind of the dumbing down of America that everybody was worried about in the 90s.
Yeah,
I would argue in hindsight that reality TV did more to dumb down America than any animated show ever did.
It's
to the point we have a reality show president. So
it's not a show that's dumb itself, I don't think. Like, the writing is usually pretty solid, but they're like a fictional level of stupid.
Yeah, the characters themselves are not meant to be geniuses.
No.
You're not supposed to look up to them in any way.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be heroes. They kind of... That's going to be part of this journey, too, is kind of figuring out when people started liking these guys, because they were never meant to be likable characters.
Yeah, the early episodes is very much like the if you're an Office fan, like how Michael Scott is very unlikable in those early seasons, and then there's some point where he becomes endearing. Yeah, which is usually the case with these kind of characters.
That's been the case with Beavis and Butthead too. So I think that'll be one of the many things we keep track of and we kind of discuss as we move along on this journey is when when did they become likable? Because they did, especially Beavis. I think Beavis is more likable than Butthead.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that also speaks to the fact that there's more depth to both of these characters than anyone would like to admit, probably even Mike Judge.
Yeah.
Because there's been things that get dropped over the years that are just small, maybe throwaway jokes at the time, but when you're dealing with something like this, any property, you're always adding to the character. When you drop any little thing, you drop adds to the canon or the characterization.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And so you do, over the course of the show and including the movies, the life of the characters, you pick up on some of their home life things were not so great, and reasons they are the way they are in some instances.
Well, what is their home life has always been kind of the weird mystery of the show. It seems to be two teenage boys that live together and go to high school, and there's no adult factor.
Yeah.
I know at one point in the new series he says that it's Butthead's uncle's house. I don't know.
There's different in the movie Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, because they're lost in time, when they come back to the house, they're not aware that it's 2025. But there is a mention of previous owners, and the name Shirley Beavis is brought up.
Oh, okay.
And it's supposed to be Beavis's mother, who
is that a last name?
Sold.
I didn't even...
Yeah, I guess it is.
Oh, okay.
But that was never stated until this, very recent movie, in the movie that kicks off the revival.
Yeah, because I was always, when I would watch the show as a kid, I was like, whose house is this? Like, yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah, there's a point where there's different points where it seems to be either of their house. In my imagination, and maybe we'll find out what canon there actually is during the course of this podcast, I assume they're both their mothers or sisters. I think they're cousins that live in the same house.
Yeah.
Or their mothers are just roommates. They're just two friends like Beavis and Butthead who met the guys that are in Beavis and Butthead Do America that we find out are their dads.
Well, as early as season 2, in the first episode of season 2, they say that they're not sure if they're brothers or not, or if they have the same father.
Yeah, they mention that it's possible.
Yeah.
It's never confirmed. And then when you meet their dads, David Letterman is the voice of Butthead's dad. In Beavis and Butthead Do America, they there's a joke that Butthead's dad, the guy that looks like Butthead, says, "I scored with both of those chicks."
Yeah, yeah.
But the other guy looks like Beavis, so it's they would have to be related for the outcome to be.
That is what Butthead would say in that situation too.
That's true.
Beavis didn't score with either of them, and he scored with both of them. That is
unreliable narrator.
Totally what Butthead would say in that situation, because he's kind of the leader.
The dominant.
Yeah, he's the dominant one. So I feel like they each scored, and the dude was just taking credit. Okay,
yeah, that makes sense. So we get to see at some point who their fathers are. And never their moms, but we get one name, Shirley Beavis, making Beavis a last name.
Yeah.
Which I assume makes Butthead a last name as well.
No, at least I know in the music videos it's even a fairly early one, so we'll get to it before too long, but he says that he has a cousin named Richard Head. So it's supposed to be a full... Yeah. That his first name's actually Butt, and his last name is Head.
Oh, I do. Yeah, there is another mention of that somewhere. Now that you bring that up, that he says first name Head or first name Butt, last name Head.
Yeah, and people often mispronounce it on purpose just to make it seem more like an actual name. I think it goes back to like, this is an abused child.
His name is Butt.
Yeah, his parents named him Butt because they don't care about him.
Yeah.
And just left it that way.
Although Butthead is hyphenated in the title, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's a hyphenated, so it's hard to nail down the origins of these two, and I think that's on purpose.
Yeah.
I think Mike Judge would say it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that brings us to Mike Judge, creator, writer, head writer at least. I know there's been a lot of other writers come and gone from the show over the years, but Mike Judge is the main creative force. He voices both of the characters and many of the other ones.
Yeah.
We were discussing earlier, Mike Judge has not really failed.
No.
Everything he's made is kind of in the zeitgeist at some point.
Yeah. Like the closest is Idiocracy, which wasn't a huge success when it came out, but then became a bigger deal on VHS and home video.
One of those like many 90s movies like they kind of would come out and not do much in theaters. Yeah. And then find a home on VHS where they become cult classics. Idiocracy, I guess, would have been more DVD days, but the same kind of deal. I remember seeing Idiocracy on Comedy Central, maybe for the first time, or maybe it was one of those on-demand things. I remember getting very stoned and watching it with a friend.
I remember I was at a like an all-night coffee shop in Cleveland, and the guy, the barista, there was like a horrible snowstorm, and people weren't wanting to drive anywhere, so the barista had rented a bunch of videos, and one of them was Idiocracy, and I like sat there till probably like 4 or 5 in the morning with this guy as no one came into this coffee shop, and watched like 3 or 4 movies. And yeah, that was the first time I saw Idiocracy.
What was your first impression of it? Because I
really liked it. I thought
away.
It was really funny immediately. Yeah.
It's become a lot more apocryphal along the way.
Yeah.
Very predictive movie. Truer than it seems. And then his other big one was Office Space, which is a classic.
Yeah.
Both of these have had tons of play on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Huge life on home video and stuff like that.
Well, I've seen several interviews with Mike Judge leading up to this, and a big like genesis or kind of conception of the idea for Office Space was just that he noticed that people on TV shows usually get higher class jobs. You don't see a lot of like blue collar representation on TV, and that was kind of the whole point of Office Space.
Well,
I guess that's more white collar, but still, it's the lowest level employees at a company, like on screen.
Yeah, I think I haven't seen the and maybe we'll definitely review that at some point. The Office Space animated short that he was even before Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, that was the very first thing he made.
Which was the Rip Torn, not Rip Torn. What was that guy's name? The staple guy in the movie.
We were trying to think of that earlier, and I still don't remember his name. Milton, maybe?
Yeah, Milton is the character's name.
Yeah, I don't think I ever knew that actor's name. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff. It's a character actor from that time period. But the animated short is based on that character.
Yeah.
Which I look forward to watching that. So the movie I think is a little bit different. The movie kind of borrows a plot from Superman 3. He even calls it out in the movie.
Oh yeah, it does.
He's like, "Oh, we're doing a Superman 3."
Yeah.
And so that's what that is. And then his other big work is
that was another one where I saw some producers of that movie were really gunning for the gangster rap, and they just could not find like audiences that would join in with that opinion, no matter how hard they tried to be like, didn't you hate all the gangster rap in this movie? Nobody would ever say, yeah, there should be less of that. So like, as much as the studio tried to trim it back from Office Space, they just couldn't get support for that notion
to remove it.
Yeah.
So he got to leave it all in.
Yeah, to pull back on how much gangster rap music was in the movie.
There is quite a bit.
Yeah.
Famously, the opening scene is so funny. It's just the guy turning the radio way down on the gangster rap as the black guy drives by in another car. Then that leaves King of the Hill. Well, Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I never got around to it. I think I only recently realized that was a Mike Judge project. It was one of, because there's so many brilliant comedies I haven't watched. It was just one of them to me.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a Mike Judge thing when you watch it, but if you factor in like the connection of Silicon Valley to like Austin, Texas, like there's a big
that makes sense.
Tech
group
out in Texas. So it's usually like Texas related things where Mike Judge is from.
Well, yeah, I was just talking with my mom about how we're doing a podcast about this and how they're coming out with new episodes, and my mom said, "Oh, well, this other show, King of the Hill, just came up with new episodes." And I said, well, yeah, that's actually the same guy. Very different shows though. I think Texas is really the only connective tissue. Like the setting, they're both set in Texas, and that's about all you can say for the similarities between King of the Hill
I imagine
and Beavis and Butthead.
Mr. Anderson is somehow related to Hank Hill.
Kind of a proto Hank Hill, at least the voice for sure.
I just imagine them being distant relatives. They have a common grandfather.
Yeah, he was supposed to be about the age that Hank Hill is now when he started, though.
In the new shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was... I don't know. I always get... He's more autistic coded, I think, than Hank Hill is.
Yeah, he's a little more...
and they get more into that in the new series where they have that series where he tells war stories, but then it's just like a story about fixing an engine on a car while a battle is happening in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Anderson's a perplexing character because he's got to be as dumb as the boys to keep hiring them. There's several times in the early
they've
seasons.
Convinced him so many times that they aren't themselves.
Yes, Buffcoat and Beaver, all kinds of different names that he...
Yeah. And sometimes they're just like wearing glasses or something, and he's like, man, I'm glad you two are here. I hate those other two guys.
Yeah. Buffcoat and Beaver comes from him saying the wrong names for them comes from some critics that were complaining about the show, and a senator who said the names wrong while they were talking about
great
censoring, and Mike Judge took it and used it.
You already have this character that's totally out of touch anyways.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Love it.
So that's where you get some of the incorrect namings on them in those early shows. I think what else we wanted to cover. King of the Hill. Another the revival where he's actually aged the characters forward in a more linear storytelling thing going on with King of the Hill.
It always has been. King of the Hill has always been very subdued in terms of like adult animation.
Yeah.
I think it's a more laid back kind of show that's very, very, very grounded.
Yeah, it's more of a family sitcom than Beavis and Butthead is kind of a teen.
That's not to say I don't like it. I grew up with King of the Hill, even more than Beavis and Butthead. I haven't gotten around to finishing.
King of the Hill was like the Mike Judge property you were allowed to watch.
Yeah.
It was on earlier. It was a family. And
it was on Fox. It wasn't on MTV. So that certainly affected it too. And, I always thought that show was hilarious. And it still is. I've only seen the first 3 episodes of the new season.
I haven't seen any. I've not really. I'm very familiar with King of the Hill. I haven't really done a watch through. Like I haven't watched it beginning
honestly
to end ever.
Have not either. There was some point where I fell off, probably while I was in college, and I, getting drunk all of a sudden took priority over watching TV on Sunday night.
It does at that age
or whatever.
So I don't have as much to say about King of the Hill. I love Bobby Hill. I'm familiar with all the John Redcorn and the cuckolding of Dale Gribble and everything.
Yeah.
Which is all hilarious. Which is
they're still making really great They have like the guy's half Native American son call himself a white guy a bunch of times in the new show because he's just so bought into this fabricated reality and just does not even notice his own skin tone.
Yeah. He's got no reason to think otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
His father is Dale Gribble.
Yeah, and he's like, oh boy, I love my dad. Oh, hey, Mr. Redcorn's here. Oh my God, I didn't know he was coming to this event. Hey, good to see you. Do you remember me? Yeah, it's like that, and it's great. I do look forward to finishing that season when I get. But I at some point should watch the rest of the show all the way through too.
So the revival of King of the Hill ages the characters. Over in Beavis and Butthead, there are episodes where they've been aged.
The new series is really presented as a multiverse,
spinning out of Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
Yeah, often in the earlier episodes, just to get people used to it, they have the Watcher or smart Beavis and Butthead characters kind of introducing the idea of the multiverse. They were in the movie too. And
then once it's up and running, they just they show some episodes where they've aged and some where they're
and some where they die in a very not like maybe they didn't maybe they did kind of way where like a lot of the like original series deaths are kind of questionable. They're never really 100, but like they show full on skeletons of Beavis and Butthead in the series. They show them like their skin melting off. They die for sure. I think Mike Judge always wanted to do that.
Multiple times.
Yeah, I think having the multiverse really gave him the license to just go as far with the idea of them being so stupid that they die from it sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that's usually the point when there's an episode that they die is because they're just that dumb. In Peace, Love, and one of the two pilots, Peace, Love, and Understanding, everybody dies.
Yeah.
There's an early proto Mr. Van Driesen dies.
Well, he dies before everybody else.
Yeah.
He gets run over by a monster truck, like, immediately.
I don't know if at the time they were thinking multiverse. It probably just was throwaway. Here's the gag. They died.
Well, yeah, at the end it says to be discontinued. So I think that in Mike Judge's head, I think Peace, Love, and Understanding was
a final...
Yeah, that was the end. He expressed these characters. He made 2 shorts. That's all the life those 2 needed.
It's all he expected out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we will keep a little bit of a tally, like a multiverse tally throughout.
But we'll have a more in-depth discussion of Peace, Love, and Understanding coming soon to the podcast.
Anything else we want to cover in this? We're gonna so each episode we'll be watching through a website we found that has a bunch of the what we believe are the original episodes.
Yeah. According to Wikipedia, a lot of it's like the type B version. As far as what music videos have shown up, I've tried to keep track of which versions. And it's usually like the last version listed on Wikipedia is the one that's on this website that we use.
Okay, yeah, I think it's usually the American version.
Yeah.
A lot of them, the reason they had multiple versions of just the music video segments would be a different set of music videos because they were because of the different copyright, and then because of some of them airing on MTV in Europe, they would have a different set of videos for those.
But we'll be discussing the different music videos for every episode as we go through each episode. I know some of them do have, like, there's certain video blocks that get used on different episodes, and we'll discuss those things as they come up too. But
yeah, there's definitely ones that were made for one episode that ended up on another one.
Yeah,
things like that.
I know. I saw 2 episodes the other day where, like, they had the same music videos with the same commentary, but then the later episode had one video at the end that wasn't in the other one. So I mean, stuff like that'll happen. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll cover as much as we can. Let us know in the comments when we miss things. Or if you have anything to add as we progress through these episodes over the next couple of years. Also, feel free to make suggestions. Try not to be rude. We don't want to be arguing with people in the comments, but we would like to hear, if there's something that you would like us to add, that you find interesting, or your own reviews. We'll read some feedback on the show, and get to your comments and whatnot. We'd love for people to join in and watch along and stuff like that. Maybe we'll put a link to where we found the episodes in the descriptions. If that's something that YouTube allows us to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, finally, our rating system. Our rating. We're going on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being this sucks, and a 5 being this rules.
Yeah. So the same rating system that they use for music videos from This Rules.
Basically.
This sucks.
And so
but with more gray area.
In my mind, in our universe, in this universe of this podcast, when we rate an episode of 5, that means it is the absolute best episode of Beavis and Butthead. That doesn't mean it's a 5-star compared to any other show, but these are the absolute best episodes of this show are 5s. The absolute worst.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll have some disagreement on things and whatnot. But, stay tuned Like, subscribe, comment. It's
Yes.
YouTube.
Do all the
Do
YouTube
that
things.
stuff.
Make sure you subscribe. Check out the other stuff on the channel as we build it up. And I think that's it for this one. That covers the introduction. So come back next week or in a few days for our first discussion, the episode Frog Baseball.
Frog baseball.